Chapter 5, Silent Struggles, Part 4. At 14, Lucas had settled into a rhythm at school, but it was a rhythm that felt increasingly monotonous. The classes were too easy, and while his peers struggled with assignments and exams, Lucas found himself gliding through them effortlessly. He watched as Thomas soared in his own realm, dominating the athletics program. Thomas was a sight to behold. Tall and muscular, with a natural charisma that made him somewhat of a celebrity among their peers. The way he moved on the field, fierce and confident, drew attention and admiration, something Lucas could only observe from a distance. Despite the accolades and the buzz around him, Thomas never let it go to his head. He would often seek out Lucas during lunch, pulling him into conversations about training regimens and upcoming matches. Lucas appreciated the attention from Thomas, but it only served to highlight how much he felt like a ghost in the crowded hallways. Though he was gaining friends, they didn't fully know him, nor did they understand the depth of his abilities. One afternoon, Lucas sat in the library, surrounded by books about the world beyond his own experiences. He delved into physics, philosophy, and psychology, all the while hiding the true extent of his talents. His telepathic abilities had blossomed over the past few years. He could sift through thoughts and emotions like a gentle breeze stirring leaves. He had learned to keep his skills under wraps, observing others rather than revealing what lay beneath the surface. When the school counselor approached him with the proposition of switching programs, he felt a surge of panic. "Lucas, your scores are remarkable. We believe you would benefit from an advanced curriculum. It would challenge you more," she suggested, her smile warm but tinged with concern. He considered her words carefully. An advanced program might be the intellectual challenge he craved, but it also meant the possibility of being sent to a different school, one where he would once again be a stranger. Lucas shook his head gently, forcing a smile. "I appreciate the offer, but I think I'm fine where I am. I enjoy the routine." The counselor regarded him with a mixture of surprise and disappointment. "If you ever change your mind, the door is always open," she said, jotting down a note. As she walked away, Lucas leaned back in his chair, his thoughts swirling. He didn't want to leave the only place that felt somewhat familiar, even if it was easy. He relished the subtle connections he was building with his classmates, the quiet moments shared over lunch, the laughter during gym class, and the rare but meaningful conversations with Thomas. Later that week, while walking home, Lucas noticed Thomas standing at the edge of the school's football field, practicing with his teammates. The sun set behind him, casting a golden glow around his figure. As he watched, Lucas allowed himself to slip into the thoughts of those around him. At first, he found Thomas's mind closed off, a solid wall that Lucas had never been able to breach. But now, as he concentrated, it was as if a door had creaked open, allowing Lucas to step inside, even if just a little. He wasn't sure if it was conscious on Thomas's part or if he simply sensed Lucas's presence. It seemed that Thomas had grown to feel Lucas's subtle intrusions, even if he never spoke of them. Lucas sensed the adrenaline coursing through Thomas's veins, the determination and the pressure to perform. It was exhilarating to touch those emotions, to understand the world from another's perspective without revealing his presence. The thrill of the connection was intoxicating, but it also left Lucas unsettled. He wondered if Thomas could feel him reading his thoughts, if the boundaries between them had begun to blur. Suddenly, Thomas turned, scanning the crowd, and their eyes met. Lucas quickly withdrew from the thoughts around him, a wave of warmth washing over him as he returned to the present. Thomas waved him over, and Lucas couldn't help but smile as he approached. "Hey, you!" Thomas called, his voice booming over the chatter of the other boys. "You should join us for practice one day. I know you're not into sports, but you're missing out on the fun." Lucas chuckled, shaking his head. "I'll stick to watching, thanks. I'm better at keeping my feet on solid ground." "Suit yourself," Thomas replied, shrugging. "But you've got to challenge yourself more. I see how smart you are, and it's a waste to let it all go untapped." Lucas felt a knot tighten in his stomach at the thought. He appreciated Thomas's encouragement, but he was terrified of revealing his true self. What if Thomas knew just how much he could do? What if his telepathy came to light? The fear of being ostracized haunted him, and so he played the part of the quiet observer, the smart kid on the sidelines. The sun dipped lower in the sky, and as they talked, Lucas felt the tug of an unseen thread connecting them. Two boys from different worlds, yet bound by the same struggles of expectation and identity. Even in the warmth of friendship, Lucas felt the weight of his secret. He continued to hide, even as the world around him brightened with possibilities, all while his powers flourished silently beneath the surface. As he watched Thomas return to practice, laughing and chatting with his teammates, Lucas wondered if he could ever truly share his life with someone else. The longing for connection mixed with the fear of exposure, a balance that left him both yearning and guarded, trapped in a silent battle of identity.